More than a decade ago, an elder shared a wild tale with me about a zombie wasp. They said if it stings you, you'll turn into a zombie, a living snack for its babies. Eventually, the larvae burst out of you, and you're back to normal, but with no memory of the whole ordeal. Can you believe it? Turns out it's real. These creepy critters are called parasitic wasps. Scientists say they used to be big enough to mess with creatures as big as humans, but now they're tiny and stick to smaller targets. Just when I thought we were safe, the elder dropped a bombshell. Humans could be on their hit list too. Imagine being controlled by some tiny bug. So here I am, sharing this spooky story with all of you. Let's rewind to 1802. There's this old priest, von Schrank, watching a ladybug like it's a crime scene. The bug's just chilling, not eating or moving, but keeping an eye out like it's up to something. So, von Schrank's on ladybug duty, right? He's all Sherlock Holmes, examining this ladybug like it's the star of a mystery novel. Lo and behold, under its belly, he finds this weird, pale yellow cocoon. Ladybugs don't make cocoons, so what gives? Is it some funky snack? Or did the ladybug turn evil from munching on it? Schrank's not one to give up easily. He keeps his detective hat on and decides to stick around to solve this puzzle. Fast forward a few months, and Schrank's got the scoop. He IDs the culprit, the ladybug killer, number 2155. Picture this: dark body, green eyes, and light brown bits on its head, legs, and tail. It's the cocoon owner, and its tail's packing a poisonous punch. Yup, you guessed it, a parasitic wasp. Tiny thing, this wasp, even smaller than the ladybug it's targeting. But don't let its size fool you. It's a fierce little bugger, stinging the ladybug's abdominal with its poison needle and unleashing who knows what toxins. 5 days later, and the ladybug's still hanging in there. But on day 10, it goes bonkers. Schrank does some bug dissection and finds a larva chomping away at the ladybug's insides. By day 13, the ladybug's back to normal, chowing down like there's no tomorrow. Then, on day 20, out pops this big pupa from behind the ladybug's tail. Day 21, it's a big cocoon, right on the ladybug's belly. So, here's the scoop. For the next 5 days, this ladybug's acting all kinds of weird, without eating or taking a sip of water. Nope, it's just hanging out, keeping a close eye on this cocoon like it's the crown jewels or something. Then, boom. On day 26, out pops a new parasitic wasp from the cocoon, leaving the ladybug in the dust. But guess what? On day 27, our ladybug buddy's showing signs of life and even grabbing a snack. By day 35, it's like nothing ever happened. Ladybug back to its usual self. By dissecting, Schrank found that its internal organs have been gnawed to pieces. But every bite were just not fatal. It is amazing. How do parasitic wasp did it? Its larvae eat the flesh and blood while making sure not to bite the ladybug to death. It can also use toxins to control ladybugs to protect the larvae. But here's where things get really wild. These parasitic wasps? All female. Where are the dudes at? Schrank's scratching his head. And over 200 years later, we're still no closer to figuring it out. And get this, turns out these wasps aren't just using regular old toxins. Nope, they're packing viruses, like some sci-fi horror flick. Biologists are losing their minds over it. Snakes, spiders, bacteria, they've all got their own tricks, but viruses as toxins? That's a whole new level of creepy-crawly science we haven't quite cracked yet. So, get this. When these scientists dive into the virus, they discover it's no ordinary bug. It's some primitive RNA virus straight out of the Stone Age. At first, it just lurks around, chilling in the nerve cells, keeping things on the down low. But come day 15, the virus busts out of the brain and hijacks the central nervous system. And guess what happens next? The poor ladybug turns into a zombie, all in the name of protecting those cocoons. Fast forward to day 25, when a new parasitic wasp takes off into the sunset. That's when the virus decides to cozy up to the immune system. They reach a truce, and our ladybug friend finally gets back control of its body. If the virus broke out early, the ladybug will run away and the cocoon will lose its protection. If the virus broke out late, the ladybug will die, and the cocoon will also lose its protection. Now, here's where things get real sci-fi. This biotech? It's straight out of a movie. These wasps are pulling off cloning tricks like it's no big deal. Ever seen those nanomechanical bugs in sci-fi flicks? Yeah, it's kinda like that, except instead of munching on metal, they're chowing down on flesh and blood. Wild, right? Alright, so here's the deal. Before these critters chow down, they've got to pull off some wild zombie shenanigans. They unleash viruses that turn their hosts into walking dead, all while making sure not to do any permanent damage. Tough gig, right? The ladybug did not protect the cocoon, and all of these were just coincidences of nature. Then the scientists designed another experiment. They set up 3 groups, one with just the cocoons, one with a dead ladybug plus cocoons, and one with a zombie ladybug plus cocoons. And guess what? The results are mind-blowing. As a result, in the case when cocoon alone, 99% chance they're getting gobbled up. Add a dead ladybug to the mix, and the odds drop to 85%. But toss in a zombie ladybug, only a 35% chance those cocoons are getting munched on. Talk about a game changer. Now get this, when they start digging into various parasitic wasps, they stumble upon some seriously next-level zombie tech. These wasps are like ninja assassins targeting baby caterpillars. They sting them, drop some toxins and eggs, and then sit back as the larvae chow down from the inside out. Creepy! Alright, here's the scoop. 5 days in, and bam! About 10 little larvae bust out of the caterpillar and set up shop in a bunch of cocoons. And get this, the caterpillar goes all mom mode, spitting out extra silk to beef up their protection, until the day when the caterpillar died. Out pops about 10 new parasitic wasps, ready to hunt down their next victim. These sneaky wasps have a thing for spiders. They infect them, leaving behind a big ol' egg on their back. That egg? It's a blood-sucking squatter, feeding off the spider. Now, spiders aren't pushovers. They've got a tough immune system. Normally, they'd wipe out that egg no problem. But these crafty larvae switch things up. First, they mind-control the spider into weaving a special web, a real departure from the usual radial design. Then, they slurp up the spider's blood in a flash and kick the dried spider off the net. Next up, they start crafting their own cocoon right there on the spider's web. Smart move, 'cause most bugs that snack on cocoons steer clear of spider webs. So these larvae chill in their cozy cocoons, snug as a bug in a rug, all thanks to their spider bodyguards. Creepy, right? Every now and then, it spits out a bit of silk straight down to the ground, just as a safety net. You know, just in case the spider web decides to call it quits and break. Let's talk about these parasitic wasps. They're like nature's little marvels. And get this, they've got a cousin that takes the whole zombie-making thing to a whole new level. Buckle up, 'cause the ride's just getting started. Flashback to 2014, a crew of biologists decides to brave the wilds of the Golden Triangle, one of the gnarliest spots on Earth. Rebels, wild critters, you name it. They've got it all. Picture bats with teeth, stick insects as big as your arm, and a whole lot more. Will our fearless explorers uncover some mind-blowing stuff? One day, the captain rolls into a tiny market town in Thailand. Out of the blue, he spots this gorgeous wasp he's never seen before. Naturally, he and the gang decide to play detective and track it down. Lo and behold, they stumble upon its hideout tucked away in the mountains. This little wasp is a real looker. Emerald green from head to toe, and not too shabby in size. But here's the kicker. It's also a parasitic wasp. Yep, you heard that right. They're in the business of making zombies, and guess what their favorite ingredient is? Cockroaches. So, here's how it goes down. First, the wasp stings the cockroach right in the chest, putting it out of commission in a flash. Then, it goes in for round 2, targeting a specific spot on the roach's noggin with another sting. Boom! Now the roach is under the wasp's spell, thanks to some sneaky toxins. With the roach under its control, the wasp takes charge, holding onto its head and leading it back to the hive like a puppet on a string. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The captain notices something crucial. If the wasp only used one sting to paralyze the roach, there's no way it could haul its hefty body back to base. But by going in for the double sting combo, turning the roach into a zombie, the wasp pulls off this epic feat of moving its own moving van. After the mission's complete, the wasp seals up the hideout and heads out. Meanwhile, the roach is on a 15-day timeout. It's not dead, but it's not going anywhere either. And get this, it doesn't even need to eat or drink during this time. Guess that's nature's way of turning it into a zombie refrigerator to keep itself fresh. So, here's what happens next. For those 15 days, the wasp larva hatches inside the roach, and when it's ready, a brand new wasp drills its way out of the roach's body to find its next victim. Now, back in Germany. The captain wastes no time spreading the word about this crazy discovery. After some deliberation, everyone's on board with calling it the Dementor wasp, inspired by those soul-sucking monsters in Harry Potter. Now, here's the good news. None of these wasps have come after us humans. Maybe Mother Nature's looking out for us, or maybe we've dodged a bullet. Phew, that was intense. Let's switch gears to something lighter, shall we? In 2014, a Thai boss stumbled upon the first cockroach parasitic wasp in a bottle of medicine. Weird, right? So if the stuff in there's harmless, how come it's making people sick? Besides, who knows? Maybe zombies can be revived too, right? Alrighty, that's all of today. Thank you all of you for your part in this grand adventure.